Ah. I made the first 7 already. So this is the factory edge of this piece of basswood, which is maybe not the ideal pattern wood, but that's what I got. So I'm going to count on that to be square. These will sit, square to these base pieces, which I have yet to finish up. So these are going to have draft sanded on the long sides here. So what I did was I sanded myself a nice square edge, square enough, on this piece, and yeah, sanded a little bit of draft on the edge of that piece. And what I actually did was, the first time I did the draft angle too much. I mean, look how skinny that is. It's ridiculous. So I had to redo my little push block and reset the angle of the table here, but you can see this one does have draft, but it's got a lot more meat on it in the end than this one. Good enough. There goes my coffee cup. Luckily this coffee cup that was sitting on the belt sander was empty. Otherwise I'd have a mess on my hands. Alright, now I'll use my block here to get to where I had it before. Come on, loosen up. Alright, bump you there. Alright. Is that right? That's right. Yep. I'm going to get rid of this side first, because I can. You know what? There. This is all wrong. I had it backwards. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like that. That was stupid. I already messed it up because I took a little bit off the bottom edge, which should have been full width. So this one's going to be a little skinnier, but as long as it's... Oh my god. As long as it's better than this guy. And it should be able to be. Alright. Finally got this set up. Should be taking off the top, not the bottom now. can see, I got down to there, which is good enough. Sorry. You can see I got the draft put in down to there, and there's going to be fillet from there on down anyway. That's not too bad. So now I should have 8 good ones. That went crap. I love the disc sander. It's real nice for this kind of work. I'm gonna hang on to that too. It's handy. The table's not really supposed to tilt up the way I have it, but it will just a little. It's got enough adjustment in it, so that's good. So I've got where I want to, glue these onto, marked out. It's going to be fillets I'll add after, but for right now, I still got to add some radiuses on all these hard corners, other than that aren't on the parting line. Right, there we go. Everything's nicely radiused. Just need to add some fillets after I glue these down, and they'll be just about good to go. So I got this board made up to make a match plate for the alignment holes. I drilled them out a little bit oversized, and then I just screwed these bits down with holes drilled out to size for the pins, so it fits on the flask pretty nice. There's no wobble or anything because I built the flask using those little shims I showed in the other video to ensure that the whole parting line is flat. So this is the cope. I drilled out this little hole where my sprue pin fits in nicely. Drilled a little pilot hole through first so that I have this spot on the other side to match up with to attach the runner. I have this other hole here, which would be where the runner on the bottom comes up into the surge trap. So on this side, we will have our gates and our patterns. First I gotta sand this board down. So this is the underside. At this point now, I guess the sprue's over on this side now. I have this runner pattern. It's the same size around, as close as I could measure it, to the base of the sprue. As you can see, I got some little markings here to find where the base of the sprue is on the other side. It's going to go right there on this end. And on this end, I don't think it's as critical. It's got to come up into the surge trap. You have to imagine the runner is going to come in something like this once the match plate is removed and the cope and drag are placed back together. Spackling. See if it'll work okay for fillets. Definitely don't want any little ridges on this. That would make an undercut. There we go. Well, anyway, you get the idea. Get these fillets done about as good as I am able to get them. I mean, I may sand them a little bit, but just for the initial putting them on, I think they look pretty good. All right, on our way. Figures. Okay, so we're now on the drag side here, and I've measured out on both sides and taken various measurements very carefully and figured out that as long as this side I line up the runner pretty much flush with this side of this hole, that'll be about the right distance that way to come in underneath the surge trap. And this one, you can see my little markings. I just got to get it centered up in there. This is the really crucial one because it has to be right directly under the sprue. Got glue on it. Well, if it's not right, it's too late now. A couple of coats of spray paint and a coat of clear gloss. The clear gloss got this kind of crazed, crackled effect when it dried. I've been trying to sand it off, and I think I'll give it another coat, and if that doesn't help, I'll just get it as smooth as I can with some fine sandpaper and see how it molds up. But it's an interesting texture. It might, if I could figure out how to get it on purpose, it might make a nice background for a plaque or something like that. Anyway, this is the top, the cup side drags, just a runner. There you have it. That's the match plate pattern. Alright, so a couple issues. One being the paint job. I'm going to give it a try molding it to see if it's good enough. Another issue, this bracket here, I was a little sloppy when I made it. And also, this board's only 12 inches wide, and this opening is 12 inches wide. There's actually little gaps on the side, and because of this, I figured the best way to do it was to decide I'm going to use it pulled all the way to this side as my default alignment, and I put these in here, so that's the only, when it's down there, that's the only place it can be. I did the same on the other side. So these things require me to use this specific flask with these specific brackets in this specific alignment to really work. After I get these brackets cast, I may replace them on this flask and then remove these if I can. Long story short, just going to give it a try molding it first to see what happens. Maybe I'll do the drag first. Now I have a proper parting bag. I'm still going to use a lot less than that on just this part. Just needs to have a light dusting. Keep the sand from sticking to the board. I think I'm gonna skip using my facing sand for this test mold. Maybe I won't. Only if I cast it will I find out whether this lines up exactly with the bottom of the sprue. I don't know if I'm going to cast this mold. Depends how well it works out, I guess. I hope the sand is... I molded a couple days ago. It's been pretty cool out, so I imagine it's still moist enough to be nice and sticky. It dries out fast though. It does seem a bit dry. There we go. Oh, it seems a bit dry. All that mulling. Maybe it'll mold up okay. I hope the sand deeper in the bench is a little moister when I get to the other side, because those fin-like things on the pattern are going to be tricky. It's harder work than it looks like. Especially since I'm still sore from blacksmithing class. Whew. I'm just afraid this mold's going to be a little crumbly right on the facing where the runner is, because it was sand on top of the pile is pretty dry. But we shall see what we see. I guess it doesn't really matter yet. There we go. These things are to keep this held right, and then when I put it back together after, I just have to remember the slot on the left pulls towards me, and that's the right way to line it up. These spots are going to be tricky because I can't ram all the way down there without snapping this pattern into pieces, and I don't want to ram it too hard in there anyway, because then it'll be hard to pull out. It'll be a bit of a balancing act. We'll see how I do. I want to be careful. Pack these just by hand. Hopefully it won't be hard to draw out. I want them strong enough they won't break, but not so tight they won't come out. Who knows how it's going to work. We'll see. A lot of it's going to be how smoothly I can lift up the flask too. I definitely don't want to ram down on these until the flask is pretty full. Be very gentle around those patterns. Whew. Where's all the good sand? Dig deeper. That's probably not smart. I think I bumped this thing. That probably doesn't make much difference. This flask really isn't much good anymore. It needs to be retired. I can get this casting out of it. I think it'll be time to rebuild. Alright. Sand rammer. I haven't built one of your wrapping tools yet. I will get around to it. Some sort of club-like object. Now when I lift this up, these will hold it from twisting as long as I pull this side so it's close to me until I'm most of the way up. But to keep it from rolling like that, I'm going to grab my 4 fingers under here and spread my thumbs along here so that hopefully I have a chance of it staying somewhat flat. Oh boy. Well, that didn't come out so great. That's no good. No good at all. Drag should be. I should have pulled the drag off first, then I could have tapped on the board to help loosen these. I'll do that next time. Well, the drag looks beautiful. That's something. Now, I suppose one thing I could do is try to try and see how well my sprue is lined up with this runner. I'm going to put a heavy coat of parting on here. Right here is where it matters the most. And then I'm going to put the coat back on, and hopefully it'll pick up a print of this parting dust so that when I take it back off I can see where the runner lines up. I don't know if this will work. We're just going to give it a try. Okay, putting it on. This side pulled straight towards me, as can be. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't really. These long pins again. All right. Oh, look at that. Pretty good. I'm okay with that. This looks all right too. I don't know if this is the pattern or if it's the way I rammed it up. Maybe I needed to just wrap on it a little more. Definitely gonna try demolding the drag first so I can wrap on the back of the board next time. So it's a first try. Okay, this is a second try at demolding this match plate. I'm gonna demold the drag first this time so that I can wrap on the bottom of the match plate and maybe loosen the cope up easier. Alright. Also, I found my my usual rammer, my little, yay. Alright, that was clean-ish. Enough, we'll say. Did break a little sand along there. Could have been a little more careful maybe. It's not great actually, because the runner is supposed to be consistent cross-sectional area, but we're not making airplane parts. I don't want to wrap it too much to the side because it's I no longer have the alignment pins in place. So I'm trying to be gentle. And this is going to be hard without the alignment pins actually. I didn't think this through. Oh yeah. It's not perfect, but I'll take it. Sure is better than last time. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up and close it up.
Ah! Don't turn the blower on. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna like soon. Right?
It won't be that much.
What?
It won't be that bad.
Whoa. Oh, I didn't record it when it first popped up, but whatever. Whoa. I'm already losing my eyebrows. It's crazy.
That pour went quite well. It didn't overflow the sprue or anything. I didn't get any runouts. It seemed to pour for quite a while. Yeah, we'll see. Still haven't got that copper ingot out of there. I see aluminum right up almost to the top of the surge strap. So that's good. Oh, look at that. And now, we'll have a look. Looks nice to me. Look at that. Aren't those nice? You can even see the, can you see it? The funky pattern in my spray finish came through and everything. It's my secret weapon. I use some of the Smelco sand here. It's still better than mine. I think it has more clay. I don't know. More calcium bentonite. But hey, castings are nice. Well, I am quite happy with how that came out. I don't know how hard it is to see, but my crappy paint job on my pattern came out pretty well in the casting, and I actually kind of like the way it looks. Everything is super smooth. The underside especially is just smooth as can be. Really came out well. The only thing that's not smooth is the top half of this surge trap, which I assume is because it's full of bifilms that got trapped in the surge, that got trapped in the surge trap. So happy times there. A little bit of broken off sand you can see here, and a tiny bit of flashing, but it's not too bad, and it won't affect the function of it. There is some shrink right there and right there. I'm gonna put a riser on here next time, and that probably takes care of it, because there's none here where it's closer to the sprue, so I don't think it couldn't have been by much that it it was just a little bit colder when I got here. That's the only real difference I could think of, so a riser here might help, might prevent it next time. Nice and flat on the back. Just this one little nub, whatever, I don't know, no big deal. One thing I did do was forget to put a little radius right here. Maybe that's why it felt like it took longer to pour than I thought it should. Came out great though. I cut this little ramp here by hand. I don't know what difference it made, but yeah, broken off sand on the edge of the runner didn't seem to affect the castings. I'm happy with them. Now I gotta fix up my flask so that I can have an easier time molding up that match plate to make brackets I can put on a new flask. And I can make 2 sets of new brackets and make 2 more new flasks. And then I'm going to need more sand. Also, you notice that I put the pouring basin right in the middle of the mold. Obviously that's not ideal, because it's nice to have it near the edge of the mold so that you can hold the crucible down lower and you don't have to pour as far down into it. But if I tried to put it over here, between here and the side of the mold, it was going to interfere with this. As it is, there's barely a finger's width in between there. Down here there was not. I should have built the pattern with this a little farther out there, these a little farther out there. I wouldn't really care if it was a bit closer to the surge trap, because Unlike this, I don't have to cut this by hand. I don't know what I hit, but somewhere in my lawn there's a quarter of a lawnmower blade that's, I'm pretty sure it's not in my leg. If it is, I haven't felt it yet. I found it. Looks like it might have been going for a while before this last bit snapped.